Doubt. For our next game, we have the 49ers going into Pittsburgh, take on the Steelers. What do you have, Wayne?
Yeah, I got the Steelers taking this, man. I know the 49ers. They got a lot of Super Bowl aspirations. I think we both have picked them to go to the Super Bowl and everything. So, but I was looking at I forget which podcast, so forgive me for not calling out, but I think they mentioned something about Mike Tomlin has like a 60% win rate as an underdog, in the betting line. So, he's an underdog here. 2.5 at home. The Steelers are playing really well, both sides of the ball in the preseason. I get it, it's preseason, but what? Like Kenny Pickett looked really good. His chemistry with the wide receivers looked really good. The defense was playing top notch. The first stringers there, so I feel like this game, it'll be close. I don't know how they win. I don't know how close it'll be, but again, the Steelers are at 2.5 underdogs. I'll take that for the Steelers.
I'm with you here. I'm with you here. I actually, again, was taking a pretty long look at this game, and I'm like, man, these are two very similar type teams. I mean, they're very, defensive minded, defensive orientated. They've got some playmakers. Obviously, I think San Francisco edges them pretty much across the board. And thinking about the full season, obviously have them going into the Super Bowl. So I think very highly of them. But even on the road last year, I mean, San Fran went to Chicago and lost in game one. And I mean, that was kind of a joke and kind of an aberration when you look at the seasons that, the 49ers and Bears had respectively. But, these kinds of things can happen. And I like Pittsburgh at home. I mean, I think that's a safe place for them to be. I think they've got the crowd behind them on, a big game. I mean, they're probably going to be hungry to knock off the Niners and kind of show, their worth there. And like you're saying about Tomlin, for his career, he's won probably 65% of his games. So, I mean, this guy is not accustomed to, coming up short in general. So I think I had Pittsburgh still in the basement in the AFC North for the year. It's a hard prediction for me to make because I think there's some really interesting teams in that division. I mean, it's just a rough division, but I definitely hear you on their progress, and I've heard a lot of good things coming out of their camp for the preseason too. So I think they make good on all that progress and take this first game of the season.
Yeah. Yeah, no, for sure. And then I think one other comment, I think, there's things with this whole Nick Bosa contract situation too that's happening right now. Is that a distraction? I don't know. I feel like it is a little bit. Like you're talking about your best player, kind of holding out here. So on the defensive side, or really best player overall, if I don't want to be honest about it, I feel like so. I feel like that could be something there. Defensive player of the year missing in action against a tough team on the road there in the first game. So yeah, this is definitely where I feel, pretty good, I think, about picking the Steelers here. But, like we mentioned before, this is a team that we think the 49ers is one of the most talented teams. Maybe they are able to pull it off, but right now the momentum I feel like is towards the Steelers.
Yeah. And the Steelers will have TJ Watt. I mean, didn't have him for most of last year too, and it's like they still were 9-8. I mean, another winning season for Mike Tomlin. So that will be a big factor. I mean, if Bosa's not on the field, that takes away you know a lot of pressure on Kenny Pickett to get the ball out quick. And the more time that he has, obviously, the better. And he's got some pretty legit weapons there. So I think he'll do okay. And yeah, we'll just see how this one plays out.